truly matters, our families. Healthy families make healthy societies. I'm Randy.
And I'm Leslie. We're diving deep into the powerful insights of Dr. Randy's groundbreaking book, The Family Legacy: Shaping Culture from the Inside Out.
Hear inspiring stories and strategies to transform your family. We'll explore topics like communication, forgiveness, healing, parenting, marriage. We'll cover it all.
We'll have provoking conversations with experts, coaches, and real-life families who are benefiting from intentional family building.
This podcast isn't just about theories, it's about tools that you can implement today.
We all come from families, so this podcast is for you.
Join us on this incredible family journey. Subscribe now as we learn to do family as God designed.
Transforming families one episode at a time. Remember, whoever wins the family wins the culture in the end. Let's go. Welcome, everybody, to Transforming Families with Randy and Leslie. I am Leslie.
And I'm Randy. Welcome.
We are really excited today.
Yeah.
We're getting ready to launch our next semester of the family school.
Yeah.
And we wanted you guys to be able to hear from some graduates that have been through the family school. And not only have they been through the family school for their own families, but they've gone on and they've become certified family coaches with the Family Reformation Project. And we have a heart, as you know, to put a family coach in every, not just every family unit, but every church and every kingdom business, because don't we know that the harvest is coming and God is restoring families back to his design? And we need people more than just the pastors and the leaders in our community. We need to be those leaders and those brothers and sisters that can come alongside our other families in our communities. And so anyway, I'm just super pleased we have two couples with us today, Garrett and Destiny Bixby, and Adam and Lorene Sherwood. So we just want to welcome you guys.
Hi.
Hello.
These are some of our very favorite people right here, and they have made some decisions over the last few months and years to really look at family in light of God's original design. And we want to hear from them. This is another episode in our series of what we call real family testimonies. These are people they're real people, they're real families, they're going through the work, and we just want to hear from them about, what was it that made them decide to take the family school and what that was like for them. But we really want you to listen as you're listening today. Listen through this lens of, hey, what about you and your family? What are you going to do family as God designed? And maybe some of the stories that are shared will resonate with you, that you think some of the same thoughts and need to learn some of the same lessons or have maybe some of the same obstacles. But just listen to these amazing people. And we're going to do what we always do with every guest we have on. We start with, tell us a little something about your family. So Garrett, Destiny, tell us a little bit about your family.
Well, we are newly married. We met down in Tijuana, Mexico on the mission field, and we got married in April of this year. So now we've been married for a little over half a year. And we're excited for what God has for our family. And we're very grateful to be here.
Yeah.
Garrett's from America and I'm from Canada, so we're two different cultures coming together to one.
Hey?
Yeah, Garrett. we joke as a family. We've got North America covered. Our one of our other daughters married a Mexican national. She met on the mission field. So we've got Canada, U.S., and Mexico pretty much covered in our family. And it's so great to have them here for so many reasons. And look forward to hearing from you. Also, we have Adam and Lorene Sherwood from Charlotte, North Carolina. Tell us a little about your family.
Yeah, so we've been married a little over 4 years, and we have 3 children. We have our 8-year-old kitty cat. Her name is Moo, and she very much is a baby. And then we also have our son, Liam, who we've got our angel baby. So, we're blessed with him. And then we've got a 15-month-old named Luke. who is currently napping, and he is awesome. So yeah, that's a little bit about us.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. We want to ask both of you. Let's start with you, Adam and Lorene. What was the thinking that led you to the decision to enroll in family school in the first place?
For me, two of the things that stand out most, was for us. I mean, I really feel like if we didn't do that, we were headed towards off a cliff to divorce, and that's a very painful place, that we don't want to go. So there's a deep recognition that, like, man, there's a lot of dysfunction. It is what it is. We're our own strength, our own abilities to fix things just weren't cutting it, and we were desperate for solutions and desperate to heal, and just wanted to have a very different experience for our family that created together than what we both grew up in.
Yeah, I think really, and I would say that the catalyst for that was when we lost our first son, Liam. There was sort of this, tangible, real life recognition of like, wow, like something's got to change, right? We need some practical tools. It's really what launched us into what does healing look like for our family? We've got to start taking that seriously. And now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's oftentimes what it takes, isn't it? I mean, for us too, in the start of the family work was when things were pretty dark and pretty hopeless, that God brought hope and this way of coming into his design. So it's good.
Well, before we hear from Garrett, I just want to, for those that are listening today, there is hope for your family.
Yeah.
And your family doesn't have to get into those darkest hours. But if you are, the family school is here.
Yeah.
And if you're just looking to do family better, that you want everything God has for your family, family school is also for you. And we say this often, but I just want to remind you guys again, this work has been designed to meet you exactly where you are in your family journey. Whether you're just starting off, you've got kids at home, you've got teenagers, your kids are grown and gone, and you're empty nesters or grandparents, whatever the dynamic you find yourself in your family, this work will meet you exactly where you are, because God's ways are perfect. And don't we know him, that he is redeeming, he's restorative, he's kind, and his way back into his design is not hard if we will surrender to it.
Yeah. If there is a hard part, that's it. That's good.
How about you, Garrett and Destiny? What launched you into deciding to go through family school?
Well, real quick, I would like to point out that I had a little bit of a special insight seeing this work get developed because I'm Randy's son. And interesting about this story for me is I was participating in this work before I was saved.
Yeah.
And the very first time I decided to take the family school, I had just recently been saved. I had the call to go into missions, but I had some time before I was actually going to take off for the mission field. And I decided to take the pilot family school. It was the very first one that we put together. And I was only able to do, I think, the first third of that school. And then I took off for YWAM. I went on the mission field, did some schools, and met Destiny. We got married, and we started talking about family school after we got married, because there was a new round of classes coming out. And it, of course, was a dream of mine to be able to actually go through this with my one, especially just with all the background of seeing the work get developed, to seeing the fruit that had been produced in my life when I was just wanting to grow in maturity and build foundations for what a kingdom relationship would look like. And when I did eventually find my wife, and now I found her, and now here, is this opportunity to take this family school together. And that's kind of where that process started for us. Add on that.
Yeah, when I decided to come take the family class, I only really did it because it was part of the family work, to be honest. I didn't know what to expect. I heard that they were teaching about how to do family God's way, and I definitely did not know how to do that. Never really saw it, so I was curious and kind of just like went in blind, expecting to encounter some good things, and I did.
And this, I think, is important too. We prayed about, God, is this what you have for us right now? Is now the time? And he emphatically told us, yes, this is the time, do this. And so we stepped in obedience and decided to be part of this most recent round of classes.
Hey, Garrett, since we're on this, what would you say to those families that have prodigals out there that don't currently have a Christian worldview? Because when we started this work with you kids, you weren't saved, as you mentioned. And what would you say to those people out there that have unsaved family members? What was your experience early on?
My personal experience was just like anybody else. I wanted to be connected with my family. I wanted there to be healthy relationship. And I was willing to accept that we had different worldviews. And even though I was walking in the ways of the world, I was able to take a lot of the training and the practical tools and emotional intelligence and apply it to my life nevertheless, and actually participate in all of the activities and protocols and exercises that we were doing. And there were kingdom conversations that I now see that I am saved. We're planting these little seeds along the way, and eventually, when I was ready for that, we saw the harvest and the full fruit of that. But I want families to be encouraged, not discouraged. Reach out, have the conversation, initiate. Love initiates, and you have to start somewhere. And I believe that everybody longs for a healthy family, and there is a way that you can come together and begin that healing process and begin to love each other well.
That's so good. You're making me cry again, which is not hard. You said something, and I want to underscore it and make it in bold and exclamation points and all caps. You said we prayed about it. If you're listening, if there's one thing that we hope that you will do, we'd ask you to do regarding family school, is pray and ask God, does he want you to do family school? And that seems overly simplistic at some level, but at the same time, what better reason is there to do anything besides pray and obey? And so that was so good. All right, let's move on here. Next question. Talk to us a little bit before break about what your experience was in the family school. What was that like? What was family school like for you? Sure was. Let's start with you.
Well, since my wife is looking at me, I think I should start. Like Destiny mentioned earlier when she was talking, for us, there's a lot of recognition that coming out of dysfunction, how can you do a thing if you don't even know what it looks like? I like the scripture that says, seek first the kingdom and his righteousness, and everything will be added unto you, which, again, my understanding is really learning God's way of thinking and doing things, and then coming into agreement in how we live to experience, the fruit of that. And so with family school, I really loved the biblical approach to the training and the work through that lens that helped us understand better what practically like that looks like so we could do it. I really appreciated how it was very experientially driven, not just theoretically talking about it, but the practical exercises that we do and did to experience it for ourselves. I mean, and at the end of the day, it's in the fruit that when we started seeing results for ourselves and how we were previously doing things and the precipice we were headed versus implementing this particular stuff and seeing the fruit of it, it was very encouraging. And just the last thing I would underscore real quick is I think just healthy community is something we crave. It's hard to learn a thing if your environment of people don't support that. So the families that we have met on the journey that share this similar passion have become some of our closest friends, and it just has really enforced the experience and helped us grow tremendously. So
Yeah.
we love that.
Yeah, I would just say quickly, just to reiterate, what you said, the biblical framework that this work represents, and how easy it is in this crazy life that's super fast paced, keeping up with the Joneses, where it's so easy to lose sight of what is God's design, not only for family, what's God's design for marriage, what is God's design for parenthood, right? How do we parent our son? What is God's design for work, and balancing that with rest and being intentional about that? And so it just, for me, it's really kind of almost like the flip switched in my mind, where I find myself like looking for God's design in every aspect of life, which really causes you to stop and reflect and go, is my life out of balance in some way? Or how am I parenting according to the world standards? Or what does God say about discipline? Or, I mean, whatever it is. So it impacts so much more.
Mm-hmm. Good. Thank you. Garrett, that's the same question. What was your experience like in the family school?
Well, when we started the family school, we were staying with my family, which was the complete opposite model of what I ended up learning in the family school. And I wasn't sure what to expect as we entered. They're handing out tools and they sounded great, but I was like, is this going to work? But like the second, like I decided to just try, and like it was like immediate results. Like we were able to have conversations that I was never able to have like on the spot because of what they were offering. And as we went on, like that continued to happen. That process of there's just like so much growth that happened so fast, and it was safe, and there was people to like talk to, and they were patient and understanding, and it was just a really good environment to like show up and not know and be able to like try and learn and even make mistakes and still be okay.
I think that our hearts going into it as newlyweds, the word of the Lord that we had received was, this season is for you to build unshakable foundation, talking about Destiny and I in our marriage and establishing a healthy foundation. And, once he said, the family school is going to be a part of this, equipping you to walk in that, once we stepped into obeying and, applying these things to our life, the quality of our conversations went through the roof. And we were able to talk about really, really critical and important topics that maybe it would have, come up eventually. But I mean, it was a season of intentionality, kind of like this greenhouse effect of just accelerated growth that we were very, very grateful for.
Now, I need to go to break because I'm about ready to cry. So we're going to come back right after this break. And we're going to talk a little bit about what were some of the specific learnings in the school, some of the specific tools or skills, and just a few other critical things. But before we do that, here's a little more information about the family school. Take a listen.
Are you tired of feeling disconnected from your spouse or children? Do you want to create a home filled with love, joy, and purpose? In this fast-paced, crazy world, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters: your family. The Family School is here to guide you on this incredible journey based on Dr. Randall Bixby's best-selling book, The Family Legacy: Shaping Culture from the Inside Out.
The Family School provided us with the tools and strategies to build a healthy family culture. It's amazing to experience the transformation.
The Family School is a game changer. Our communication has improved, along with our ability to forgive and stay connected. We now have a blueprint to raise our son and teach him how to lead his own family one day.
The support and community at the Family School are incredible. We're not alone in this journey.
Family School has impacted our family relationally by transforming how we interact with each other, improving our communication skills to create a safe environment for everyone to be open and fully themselves.
At the Family School, you'll discover biblical strategies, practical tools, and a supportive community that will empower your family to thrive.
Enroll in the Family School School today and embark on a life-changing adventure. Through interactive classes, personalized coaching, and transformative resources, you'll learn practical techniques to heal, grow, and thrive as you build your family in God's design. Visit our website at www.thefamilyreformationproject.com. Start shaping your family's legacy now.
Join the Family School today. Learn to do family by design.
Welcome back,
Hey,
everybody.
welcome back.
We've been talking to a few of our family school graduates about their experience, and I just want to give a shout out or just a notice. If you're listening and you're not married or you're divorced, family school is also for you.
That's right.
Whether you want to get some of that inner healing stuff that you need from your coming out of your own family of origin, or how to be the change agent in your family. You know, the word says that God places us in families, and you may be that person to facilitate reconciliation and restoration in your own family. So don't check out or think this is only for married people. We have a lot of singles that come through this training. So don't exclude yourself.
Yeah, well said. And just real briefly, the family school is 3 courses. It takes a little over 5 months to complete them. It's once a week. We get on Zoom and we go through all of the protocols in the Family Legacy book and workbook. There are e-courses. We have discussion. We teach the tools and we test them out, and then families go home and they do the tools that week. And then the following week they come back to class and we debrief on it. How did it go? What did you learn? What was important? And then we move through. And then that's the first 2 classes is the protocols. And the final class is what we call the coach approach to family. And that is a whole new way of leadership in the home, like Jesus did, a coach approach. And there's skill sets around drawing out of people, helping them get a revelation and take responsibility for themselves and choose to do things a certain way moving forward. But so all of these real family testimonies today and in our future, people have graduated. They've gone through all of the work. And so with that, let's go back. Let's start with you, Garrett and Destiny, this time. What were just a couple or a few of the key learnings or key tools that you took away from family school that you're putting into practice that really made a difference?
Well, how much time you got? No,
about 8 minutes.
There's so many to talk about. I think that some of the most crucial ones that we are using multiple times a day are often the personal investigator tool. To dig down and find the root of what is causing unwanted behaviors, reactions, finding the source of those. And we're to the point now where Destiny and I will actually walk each other through that process sometimes when we are recognizing, hey, this needs a little bit of digging. And of course, we'll recognize it right away. We're like, oh, okay, and it's been very helpful. To say the least, to be able to come in that together and have a safe space where it's nobody's in trouble and we're exploring and we're helping each other heal.
And that wouldn't have been possible if we didn't learn the emotional, what's it called? EL, the listening tool.
Empathetic.
The empathetic listening tool.
That's it. Empathetic listening tool. We wouldn't be able to help each other, walk through that PI tool if we didn't learn the empathetic listening tool, which really helps you learn how you're showing up in your listening style so that you can actually listen to understand and not be offended and not get into fights easily, so that we were able to focus on, the problem and fix the problem instead of arguing with each other like we were the problems. And it saved us a lot and helped us get through a lot and progress really fastly in our marriage without hurting each other.
Man, and you guys did it right from the beginning. Well done. I mean, instead of having a whole bunch of mess to clean up like so many do, we did
a lot of wreckage.
Yeah, but to do it right off, that's so good. How about you, Sherwood?
I mean, I guess my husband's looking at me now, so I'm going to go first, I guess. Yeah, I mean, for me, I would say 2 key takeaways quickly. The first one, practically, there's a tool that you guys talk about, which is fact story, right? Facts are measurable. They are things that happen in life. So the fact is, today is what day it is. It's the fact is this is my husband. But there are a lot of stories that go along with that, right? So for us, like the fact is we lost our firstborn son in our 3rd trimester. But the story that we assign to that, right, really break. And it's about, and you guys say so often, life doesn't happen to us, it happens from us. And so when things happen, really being able to take those thoughts captive, like the Bible reminds us to do. And where is that thought coming from? Is it a lie? Countering it with God's truth. And really, for me personally, in our relationship, being able to do that in real time. And when I'm doing it well, how often that's able to stifle, really extinguish any possible offense that's just the enemy's waiting to attack our relationship. And you should be offended at the way he said that to you, or whatever. And really just being able to manage, like, no, what kind of story is that? Because stories are always lies. It's a story, it's pretend, it's not real. And really, what are the facts? What does God say? What does his word say? And that's what you build your foundation on, whether it's marriage, parenthood, friendships, whatever it is. And lastly, the thing that has been super profound for me, especially when you don't really grow up and you don't learn about the power of choice and thinking, and something that you guys just drill down. And I actually find myself doing in my parenting, even though Luke is only 15 months old, it's more for me at this point because he can't communicate, is the power of choice and the consequences that flow from that. And that if I want a healthier marriage and a healthier family, I have a large part in that. What can Laureen choose? What does Laureen do? And knowing that my choices, whether it's believing a lie or taking a second to get back on track with what God says, just like how all of that can positively or negatively affect our relationship. And it comes down to, are you ready to really take personal responsibility? And some people aren't. And if you're not, that's going to be a challenging part of this work. But I encourage you, because man, it is, instead of pointing the finger, you've got to be in a place where you want to self-reflect. And it's all about choice. It's so powerful. I could just go on and on, but I'm going to stop.
So good. Adam?
Let's see. 2 things quickly. One would be the inner healing and deliverance that we learned under the identity piece, which I'm sure can be unpacked a lot more in some of your other podcasts and work. But we were talking over breakfast today about how just the analogy that learning to heal and do family without these tools is like a ship going out to sea with its anchors dragging on the seabed. And when we started to learn practically how to experience inner healing and deliverance, it was like removing these anchors dragging on the bed that allowed our ship to really move forward with this work. That's been so profound for us. And then the other thing that's probably been the biggest thing is just really the listening prayer tool. It's really just about bringing God into this union and including him in that journey, the one who knows everything, to help us work through the obstacles in our marriage that just can't be overstated enough.
Because sometimes when we go to God, we yammer on too much. And really the listening tool part is, what is God saying? Give him time to speak. So zip it and listen more, right? For that revelation.
Yeah, it's so good. I know we're getting down close to the end of our time here, but real quickly, maybe one response from each of you couples. When you were making the decision, okay, should we do family school or should we not? You might have thought, well, we could do that, but and there was maybe a thought of why maybe you shouldn't do it. Talk to us about one of those that I don't want to give them to you, but whatever it was, did you have to overcome any obstacle to make a decision to do family school? Sherwood's first.
Yes, it's definitely a time commitment, energy, so on and so forth. But again, for us, we were in a desperate place. Yeah. It was kind of like, if we don't do this, the cost of divorce, of wreckage, of family was going to be so high that it's just like we could not afford not to make the decision to do it.
Gotcha. How about you, Bixby?
I know when we started the family class, like we were really tired and burnt out. So that was definitely an obstacle we had to overcome, was like our capacity and making sure we're putting in the proper work the school requires to get the best out of it. And yeah, it was challenging. Some weeks we did not do so well, and others we did great. But the commitment because it's a lot of mental work and heart, soul, and that it's taxing and it takes time.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I mean, that's real. I mean, that comes down to pretty much anybody that wants to do something worth investing in. There's competition for our time, competition for our energy, there's competition for our money. And it really is only the most important things that we value that end up getting addressed. And if it's family, then in your cases, both of you and others, right, it comes out and we will make the time.
Yeah. And if we're really honest with ourselves, and I encourage you guys to take this to the Lord, take it to prayer. We were talking about earlier. Where is your family in order of priorities? You probably heard this preached from a tithing or a giving place. Look at where you're spending your money. What does your checkbook say? But I just want to encourage you guys, really, where is your family on your list of priorities? And if you're experiencing some pain in your family, notice if you're just making excuses. Well, that's just the way the world is, or I don't have time, or this is more important. I just want to encourage you, notice what this is more important than working on my family is for you.
Yeah, that's so good. We're talking about the family school with the Family Reformation Project. We've been hearing from our graduates about their experience around the school and what it's meant for them. Listen, we have an upcoming open house. And if you look down in the description below the podcast, you'll see the details. There'll be a link there for you to learn more or to register. But we are going to meet with families for 1 hour. And we're going to just give an incredible experience together, helping our families overcome an obstacle that they're facing in their families, give them a tool that'll help them in that, and just share with you the vision of the family school. And I want to encourage you, if maybe that's just the first step. You're like, I don't know about this whole school, but maybe I'll take an hour and see what it's about. We want to encourage you to do that. You can always go also and learn more at our website, thefamilyreformationproject.com. That's also down in the notes. But Sherwoods, Bixby, thank you for your time today and your transparency. Thanks for your commitment to your family and your generations and taking the family school. Thank you for not just stopping there, but now coming on and helping the ministry as we reach out to other families. And there's such a great need. And it's so rewarding, honestly, for us to sit here and just hear you talk, because we know that this work's going to outlive us. It's living in you. It's living in your relationships and your kids. And praise God for that. Any last words, hon?
I think this was wonderful. Thanks again, guys.
All right. What do we want to say?
We want to say, remember.
Remember.
What are we remembering?
You say it.
Whoever wins the family
wins the culture in the end.
We'll see you next time. That wraps up another inspiring episode of Transforming Families with Randy and Leslie. We hope that today's conversation has left you feeling empowered and equipped to take action.
Remember, transforming families begins with transforming ourselves. Let's be intentional, loving, and persevere. You're not alone. We're right here with you.
We believe Proverbs 24:3. Wise people are builders. They build families, businesses, and communities. Through intelligence and insight, their enterprises are established and endure.
Thanks for joining us today. We encourage you to stay connected with us on social media, join our email list, and learn more about our resources and classes at the Family School by visiting thefamilyreformationproject.com.
Remember to subscribe, share with your loved ones, and spread the word about transforming families. We'll see you on our next episode. And remember, whoever wins the family wins the culture in the end.